Semi-final time! Let's go! We have an interesting one on our hands. We got Go Next against Wurst and Homies. So I talked the entire time about how we're gonna have like new teams forming, right? Wurst and Homies is one of them. It's one of the dumbest team names that I've seen in a while, and that means quite a lot in the Heroes of the Storm community, but there we go. Initially I thought it was because it's a mix of Germans and Frenchies, but then again, there's more countries represented in that mix than only the German and the Frogs. So I gotta say that I don't really understand. But either way, the Wurst Homies over here, they are starting with, they have Dino, they got Banana 8, Gia, Swamgrota, and Masquerade. So this is a really tough team to beat. And they go up against Go Next right now, who are also participating in their first qualifier in this with Wit, Blade, Kelvin, Skynox, and Zero. So this is a really cool series that we have. This is the first semifinal, by the way, which means that this is a best of 3 series too. So in those open qualification tournaments that I've been talking about the entire time, we start with best of 1 matches. Once that we reach the semis, we are going into best of 3, and the grand final is also a best of 3, since again all of these open qualifiers are played out in a single day. But teams, as they progress through the rounds, will gather points. So the farther you go in the tournament, the more points you get in that tournament. And throughout all of the tournaments that we are playing out as qualification tournaments, the points get added up as a leaderboard. And the teams that are at the top of the leaderboard, the top 8, they qualify for the playoffs. We're going to play for 4,000 euros of prize money, so quite a bit. But either way, we got the Birdie already banned out. Sky Temple is our starting map in the best of 3. Junkrat banned, and we got a double ban on the supports. We got Uther and Lucio both banned out right here. And yeah, it's gonna become a spicy setup. What's the first pick? We got the Wurst and Homies. Jeez, that name is dumb. I'm going to rename them eventually. I already see that happening. And there's the Zagara pick. Zagara was banned twice today. And now we have the Zagara first pick. Okay. And Tehaka against it. Tehaka and Brightwing. So double global gets immediately locked in by Go Next. As the Homies have their Zagara to start things up and go for all the damage. But yeah, let's have a bit of a look of what exactly we're going to get as that double pick. Someone needs to support, of course, the Queen over here. A little Zerg Queen. And also match, I guess, the globals to an extent, but false set is already banned. There's Stukov and there's ETC. Okay. I'm also wondering a little bit if they are swapping the roles, or if they are planning to play it out like this completely. ETC gets not played a whole lot. He's a bit on the squishy side these days, so let's see if they can make that work. I mean, if you got a good Maw, for example, and then you have a perfect ETC slide with a Mosh Pit, whew, we're talking potential damage here, especially if Stukov also chops in a quick Lurking Arm. That, of course, can help too. And, well, there comes the ban on Vala. Rain of Vengeance on top of that would also be kind of nice. Yeah, ETC could of course also be played in that side lane still. I mean, again, back in the day of HTC, you had very early ETC picks because you could always adjust your level 7 and your level 10 ability depending on what you need from the hero. Do you need him to be on the side lane? Do you want to be in a position where you can then just like global in? And given the fact that Falset is banned and we have the Hakan Brightwing on the other side, you could play ETC in that role, that you just say, hey, we're playing stage dive here, and then we're adding an additional tank to the mix and playing a side lane ETC. So you could do that too. It's the poor man's global, so to say, right? And since Falset is banned, that would make sense to an extent. Sylvanas and Hogger. Okay. I got Sylvanas in the mix here. AKA a lot of structural damage, if you can get to that point. And what are we getting as the last 2 picks for the red team? Do we get a proper tank? Do they play ETC in the side lane, or do they swap things a little bit? And also, who are we going to get for additional damage? Zagara is nice and all, but you need a little bit more for that, right? So, and the answer is Tychus and Blaze. Alrighty. So we have Blaze, maybe even as a main tank here, and Panda time for Wit, as he locks in Chen. Sky Temple, everybody, the first map in the best of 3 series here at the semi-final of the 3rd qualification tournament for the X Cup Summer. The first map of the best of 3 series. The semi-final is upon us. And on the left side, we have our double global with on Dehaka and Skynox on Brightwing. With Kelvin on Sylvanas, Blade on Chen, and Zero is playing Hoga. Whereas Dainu is playing Zagara, so they swapped heroes. We have Banana H on Stukov, Gia on Tychus, Svamgrota with Blaze, and Masquerade is in that main tank ETC position now. On level 1 for Zagara, as often these days, the volatile acid for her. Yeah, she's definitely tripping. I mean, that bug is high as a kite. So, now that we're heading straight in for our first division battle, we have the blue team completely abandoning that. Instead, they're double checking if they can maybe set something up with good old Sylvanas and go for the initial tower snipe that oftentimes you want to go for. A couple of money picks already in the house, and here comes Kelvin. Gets a bit of damage in, gets greeted by grenade, and well, that's the end of that. So, not a lot of damage against this, but we're gonna double check what else they can do here. So, for now, team, Hoga is down. That was a quick kill. Okay. So Hoga killed in the mid lane while we're still focusing on our Sylvanas pressure attempt. But that is a great start for the Wurst and homies. And as I mentioned before, these guys are pretty insane. That is an insane team. Masquerade in particular is obviously just the best tank right now. But that is another fantastic slide, and the follow-up was brutal. Easy damage against Brightwing and against Chen, as ETC and Stukov work together really well here. And Svamgrota is still sliding around with Blaze on the left side, double checking also what the blue team's doing, and figures out that they're trying to go for the Siege Giants, as does the red team. So, things are off to a good start here for the homies. Again, they are not too far ahead yet, but that initial kill obviously helped, and they're currently taking control over the top lane too. Dainu with really nice creep spread on Zagara here. Yeah, you could see, you can already tell, if he played StarCraft at all, he definitely wasn't a dirty Protoss or anything. No. There's a little bit of creep spread right here. He's going for his Jadong skills and try to spread it, and we'll see where he gets with that. But either way, Dehaka needs some help. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Korean style. Master Assassin on level 4. Yeah, this is a pick solely for the passive, for the increased attack speed of Tychus, which by the way also helps with your level 10. That's the slide, and that came a little bit too late. Sorry, Banana Age. But if you really want to deny that, then you need to be a bit fast on this. But yeah, so Master Assassin doesn't get picked because the players are thinking, hey, I'm going to complete this 100%. No, it's all about the passive that you're getting. The additional attack speed is kind of nice, and it also helps you with Odin. And it's something that we've seen very frequently on the Korean side. The Koreans love to pick an early Tychus in the draft. They have a much higher priority on him. And not exclusively, but like it's a really good pick rate on Master Assassin. And now we're seeing the Europeans adapt that every now and then too. It's not the standard here or anything, but it's definitely a choice. Now, with all of that, the push to the top lane is already fantastic. And guys, this is a real problem. I mean, we are on Sky Temple. And as I always explain when we're here, what's the goal on Sky Temple? To take the structures down, because your objective attacks these things directly. So the more of the towers, the walls, the fountains, the forts you can take down manually, the better for your pressure play with the objective itself. So this opening is great for the homies. Not only do they nearly have level 7, but they are now also channeling shots on both of the temples. We will have to give up some of them eventually, but if they get the top, they're going to get the fort. Yeah, they already wanted to go for the panda here. But that poly bomb shut that down quickly. Early level 7 for them, 100%. Sylvanas with counterplay at the bottom of the map, as Kelvin is saying, well guys, you go for structures, I go for structures. It's not quite how it works though. That fort is gone, or will be, if they can take another shot or two. And they are fighting for this, and Wit is in trouble. Oh, misses out the Banelings, and that's a dead dinosaur either way. The animal abuse continues as they're going for the panda, and Chen is dead too. Nice! There's a slide, and Brightwing goes down as Tychus goes brr. So, easy kill, and that's 3 kills that they just locked in. Fantastic. Yeah, now you can obviously already see the problem. So, you're in a position where the structural advantage goes over to the red team, as they're now soaking the middle too. What does that mean for the rest of the game? I mean, it's fairly simple. The blue team cannot trade temples anymore. So when there's a double temple on the map, it's not enough for Go Next to just simply trade temples. They can't go 1 for 1 any longer, because that will eventually mean that their core goes down, while the Wurst and Homies still have a couple of keeps on the map. So at this point, the pressure is on Go Next. They are the ones that are more so forced to take fights at some point. And they have to decide when they want to do that. In this case, they're double checking if they can maybe gank up on a single hero over here, but that's not happening. Instead, the gank turns against him. Blade jumped in, and mistakes were made, baby. The Haka is coming in too. They're using the globals to turn it into a 5 versus 5, but this is still not looking good. And we could see the extinction of the dinosaur for the second time here. Wit gets attacked, there's the stun, and he goes down. The Haka Shaka Laka, as he is getting dropped. That line, by the way, nearly got me in trouble once. Not really in trouble, but it nearly led to an embarrassing moment for myself. So, we were at an event for Heroes of the Storm. I honestly can't remember where. I think it was in France? Maybe it was in England? I honestly don't remember. It was ages ago, even before HGC. And so, in my head, I had this entire time, I was like, De Haka, Shakalaka. And we checked into the hotel, and I remember I'm coming out of my room, and I expect that there's only Heroes people in the hotel, right? As the boss gets taken. And I'm just like humming that Dehaka line for some reason, and it was like a total earworm for myself. Like, I couldn't get rid of it. And I hear voices at the end of the stairs as I'm walking down the stairs, and I obviously assume that it is people from the Heroes of the Storm community, right? So I have that in my head, and I am nearly yelling that out loud, and I get around the corner as I descend the stairs, and all of a sudden in front of me are like five African people or something, like people from Africa talking in any... I can't distinguish between the languages, obviously, but if they would have heard me without any context, what I mean and what the Haka is and whatever, they would have, in the way that I just like went for that sing-sang, definitely they would have thought 100% that I'm trying to make fun of them. So I was just like coming around the corner, I'm like, and I'm not saying that, because that definitely sounds like I'm trying to take the piss out of somebody. So yeah, that was nearly an awkward moment, but I dodged out on it, so I was good. I was like, yeah, I was very proud of myself there. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. So anyways, 7 kills to 0, and make that 7 kills to 8, because Dino went down. Zagara is eliminated, and that's a kill. So right there. Bottom of the map, Masquerade is already going for the additional channel here. Again, they need to get as many of those as they can, but since it's a 5 versus 4, this is getting a little bit dicey. Let's see what else we're gonna get here. Oh, let's go. Dehaka gets nearly locked down. Bottom of the map. Yeah, a couple of shots are getting fired here, and the gate is already down as well. So, up at the top right, let's see what we're going to get here. 1, 2, 7 still, nearly a level lead. They are looking on a level 13, so there's that. In terms of talents, ETC is still holding back his level 10. It brings us back to what we talked about earlier on today, that he can go straight into the stage dive. I mean, they have level 13 by now, and he still hasn't taken it. If they want to go for a pseudo-global, that's the best chance. And when you're looking at the other abilities, we have the top kek plays for Chen. We currently got also the isolation over here. We got the blink heal at the same time. The Haka's a bit alone there. Needs to be super careful because they are ganking up on him again. If they figure out that he's in the bush, then he's in trouble. And yeah, he's trying to get away. There's the slide. He gets stunned, then he's dead again. They are gonna get hit once more. Alright. Well, I mean, they're gonna get him eventually. Maybe not. There's the interrupt. Poor Wit. He got so close to escaping, but the good thing is that his opponent, or sorry, his allies are at least trying to make hay when the sun shines. So they are using the numeric advantage at the bottom of the map to take the camp, or at least try to take it, and they're going for the top kek plays here, but all of that is backfiring. They want at least Dino, the mind control is in, and there's the Zagara kill. So good on them. Nicely done. Yeah, that was pretty sweet. Oh, but there's the mosh pit, baby! He picked his ult, and he went for the mosh, and they go for the kills. And that is 2 down, easy peasy, mosh pit too strong. When ETC wants to dance, you dance. Blade might get the kill against Swamgrota, and no, he does not. And the Fleabag over here is also in trouble. Another slide, another kill, and in total, that's a 5-man wipe. Nicely done. So, with that, I mean, here's the mosh pit again. And yeah, Brightwing was the first one to fall. Sylvana's nearly jumped away, but she got killed too. And then from there on out, they obviously also took down the rest of the team. Now we have 12 kills to 2. And, I mean, I don't know how to tell you that, but Master Assassin might complete. They might complete the Master Assassin quest, which is a bit ridiculous. Tigers does 23,000 damage. Zagara is easy top damage in the game now, with the 26k that she brings in. There's the double temple that is up, and shots are fired. And without a single fort on the map, we are talking keeps at this point. So we're opening things up for them. Wit already died 3 times. He's, by the way, not the only one. Chen and Brightwing have also been dropped 3 times here. And, well, with that said and done, it's full on-map control here. Now, the Panda's taking over at the top, at least a few of the shots, but everybody else is still totally fine here. Boss is back up in 30 seconds. We have level 16 talents by now. And just look at the creep spread that we have established down here. Dino has full-on control over the boss pit. And that's fantastic for them, because they know exactly what's happening. And they also know that once that the boss is back up, they can go for an easy pick there. And then have a bit of an idea of when the opponent is starting to engage. So things aren't getting much better than that, especially since the bot lane has to be defended against, or that keep will fall to the 2 siege giants. So they have the early lead into the boss if they want it, and that's exactly what they're going to do there. Yep, ETC is already protecting the flank, and thanks to the level 16 talent, there is little to nothing that Go Next can do. Maybe the Panda is trying to go for something, but even that is a bit of a question mark. I don't think they will. Brightwing is taking over the bottom defense, but they're not really committing to it. They're actually a little bit hesitant here. They don't want to commit to this yet. They think, okay, they got the Hoarder pulled, they got isolation, they got mind control. Maybe let's not fight for it. But it leads to an opportunity for Dehaka at the top lane, because he's escorting the camp in and is starting to take this one down too. So yeah, there's that. Okay. Off we go. Mind control. Hello, Zagara. Dino goes into the bunker, is alive. More is already being used. And they are getting more control over the fight with another slide. And the attempt at a mosh pit that gets interrupted a moment later. Well done, though, with the kill against Sylvanas. And they are trying to capitalize on it with a double kill. The follow-up is there. Dehaka is down too. The top fort has fallen. But now the boss is completely open. Easy pickings for them as they go for the boss pit. Now there's obviously nothing they can do about it. So an easy drop on that. That's great follow-up. Someone still needs to deal with this. I mean, again, I guess the wall itself is eventually going to take it down. In an ideal world... Are you going for core? I mean, the keep falls anyways at the bottom of the map. That's a given. It's so low that saving it is impossible. So if you're trying to go down to the bot lane, you're hoping to end the game. And with 0 dying here, you know that might just become a possibility. This is a 5 versus 4 now, and all of a sudden they're headed down to the bot lane. It's 16 versus 16 talents. Don't forget that there's also an additional temple up on the map. But the homies are apparently trying to end this one. Because, as I said, the keep is not gonna do anything. If they can get another kill, they can definitely make it happen. The drop on, the drop on junk, on the thingy, the flea bag, was awesome. Hoga is the name. Yeah. Oh, the 5-man more. There's the slide. What a setup. Beautiful. What a kill. Guys, we're going to check that out again as the game ends. Well, I guess we're not. Blizzard doesn't want to see you this. I can understand why. That was brutal. This is the play that Blizzard does not want you to see. It's just too nasty. As the Western homies take game number 1 in the best of 3.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Tomb of the Spider Queen, map number 2 in the best of 3, our first semi-final of the 3rd qualification tournament for the X Cup Summer. Yeah, and the homies are in the lead. Pretty impressive more there towards the end. I mean, that one was sexy as hell. Now, as we're heading into the second map, Tomb is also going to be an interesting one because we're expecting a lot of fights here with the quick rotations between the lanes. And Go Next has to bring this back a little bit. The quick ban against Zagara, since this time the first pick and first ban is on the side of Go Next, so Red Team doesn't want to go up against her. But I still gotta admit that the Red Team is terrifying. This is a really, really strong team. Yeah, they are, I mean, Dainu, Banana H, Masquerade, Gia, some Gorota. It's a super solid team that they have there. And if this continues at pace, they're going to be the ones in the grand final likely facing off against the Hardos. And that would be a pretty spicy matchup as well, of course. Now, Chromie is banned, Junkrat is banned too, since we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. So far, Go Next hasn't lost yet. And they had some good moments in the last map too. But of course, eventually some of these Maws and Moshs just took them apart here. The double global setup that the blue team had didn't quite work in their favor. They obviously were hoping to completely control the macro game there towards the later stages of the game. It didn't quite work out. But anyways, Stukov as the first pick. We got Gia and Svamgrota looking their heroes in two. Blaze and Gul'dan. So you have a fair amount of wave clear already. Gul'dan with all of the AoE that he brings in. And, importantly, the ult. So you can, with the Horrify, isolate a couple of players too. What's the follow-up on Stukov though? Are they going to go for a bit of a killer comp? Trying to go for some one-shot setup around Stukov's lurking arm? Yeah, they're going for Vala. Vala and Leo. Alright, all shall Swiffer. Let's go, baby. We got Vala in for the AoE, Leo for the Entombs, and also for the side lane. So a matchup between Leoric and Blaze again. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's actually pretty good here. It's a good start into this. And what do we get on the bans now? Wit and Blade are still open. Now, unless they are switching Leo over to Blade, we are going to see a triple frontline from them. And with Vala, we see that a lot. You want to protect her as best you can. And of course, you don't want to go up against the double support. We've seen so many interesting double supports too. I mean, Oriel has made her way back into some of the games. I think that was part of the first qualification tournament, right? Wasn't it in the second? I think it was the first one where we saw that. Yeah, now that Uther is banned, there's no double support anymore in that sense with an Uther main tank as a possibility. Dibbles gets banned out. Yeah, Masquerade is a bully on whatever hero you put him into his hands, but Diablo is still one of the best for him for sure. Diablo is just terrifying. Whenever he has Dibbles, he's just gonna murder people. And Dino, Malfurion is technically up, so you could go Malfurion and Tracer even if you wanted to. I doubt it a little bit, but I mean with Dino you never know. That hero would be right down his alley. If they think that they can set that up, they just might. And Uberak and Malfurion. That seems like we could see that Tracer pick. So I guess it depends a bit on what Wit picks for the front. So if there's, for example, Varian with a taunt against Tracer, then there's a chance that they're just going for something else. But if not, then Tracer becomes now a pretty big possibility, considering that you have Malfurion as the support. So there's that. But Wit and Blade have to pick first. And it depends on how much CC they're bringing to the table right now. Does Dino feel comfortable into a Tracer play or not? Oh, Carrigan and Jojo. The triple frontline is there. Carrigan and Johanna. And now it's time for Dino to unleash the damage. What are we getting from him? Is he going to dance around the triple frontline? Obviously, if he picks something like Tracer, you need to stay away from those stuns. Well, game number 2. If they lock in a win here, the red team, they have a 2-0 series, and there it is. Tracer is in, the cavalry is in the house. Ladies, we are heading into the second map. The homies, they need one more win if they want to decide the series with the 2-0 in their favor and move on to the grand final. Let's see if they can pull it off. Tomb of the Spider Queen. Second game of the best of 3, and if the red team locks in a W on Tomb of the Spider Queen, they move on to the grand final. But of course, Go Next, they want to go next too, and they have Wit on Jojo to make that happen. Blade is playing Leo, and 0 on Carrigan. Possibly from 0 to hero. Kelvin on Vala, we got Skynox on Stukov, and on the right side of the map, it's the Worsties, the homies. Dino and Tracer, Svamgrota on Blaze, we got Gia on Gul'dan, Banana H on Malfurion, and Masquerade is playing a Nubarak in our second game. The Ruinous Affliction for boy Stukov, Gul'dan. Yeah, no Stukov on that side of the team. And with that, here we... Oh, CC heaven already. Kelvin nearly dying. Everybody at some point just went for their buttons, smashed them, and jumped into the mid lane, and it nearly cost Vala her life. So she barely survived this one, but oh boy. Yeah, now that they're going for Blade down here, they're trying to get a quick killer in against Blade. Not working out yet. Top side, the 4-man rotation is obviously also going on. And with Tracer pressuring Leo a bit at the bottom of the map, that helps a lot. It forces the early tap on the fountain, which means that the lane is already slightly in favor of Blaze, so good for him. Quick rotations like this just really help the solo lane out, because now with the fountain already being tapped by Leo, it just makes it a bit harder for him to sustain himself through that, but obviously he has the Awesom's Renewal as his level 1 ability, so that's kind of helpful. And it's not only the red team that rotates down, but we're seeing this from the opponent's team too. And Blade nearly went down, and he has to Hearthstone already, so they're going to lose some time down here. That's a pretty neat move. It's a very good move. We also have camps attacked, mainly on the red team side, as Nubarak is slowing down the rotation a little bit here. But both of them are now going for the Bruiser camp. It's a slightly faster capture by the Wurst and homies. And at the bottom of the map, there we got it. I still don't know where the homies are coming from. The Wurst I get, I mean that's the Germans on the team. But homies? If anything, then I would have gone for frogs to describe the Frenchies. If you're already catering towards the stereotypes, then hey, by all means, go for the sausages, the German sausages right there. But then the French need to be the frogs. So it's a little bit of a weird one to me. It's a weird name. I need to come up with a different name for that team. WH Esports. Yeah, that would be dumb enough. Anyways, level 4 on both sides. We haven't seen a single kill yet, but they're trying to put pressure onto Banana H. You're not going to catch him off guard here. He's going to have a decent position. And Wit went out a bit too far to make that one happen, and he gets punished on the way back. So that's an easy kill right there. They're taking him down, and that's the first blood in the game as Jojo falls. Jojo eliminated. A couple of stacks are coming together for everybody here. But here we go. Masquerade at the top. Vala is just like chipping in from afar, one salvo after another, but it doesn't change the fact that it's just like control point for the red team. So there we go. Turn in opportunity for Swamgrota. He delivers as well. That means 23 gems are already turned in total. And Leo hasn't had a chance yet to deliver his own gems. So he's once again losing out a bit at the bottom of the map. Blade is trying to turn in. He has 16, needs to be careful. He's not going to get away with that. Look at that, riding the esports dollars here. Yeah. They're riding all that money. Blade going all in on that. 12 stacks, 13 for Vala, 16 for Gul'dan. Pretty decent stacking for Gul'dan, actually. You want to be done by the time that you hit your level 16 so that you get the synergy with the Ruinous Affliction. But let's see what else they're getting. For now it's level 7 talents that we're talking about. And off we go. Yeah, no surprises just yet. The hunger for power. Power corrupts. That's a more than adequate name for the talent here on the side of Gul'dan. Yeah, but Gia is getting solid wave clear. Gul'dan is just amazing when it comes to wave clear on this map. I mean, back in the day, he was like the hero to be taken here. These days he has fallen off slightly, but as you can see, he still gets picked occasionally, even for very good reason. I mean, it's a one-man AoE army. And, yeah, he's trying to make sure that they're keeping up with this rotational effort. Kelvin is, of course, doing the same thing on the other side, and they want him. They want him. But the Red Web Weavers, they're touching ground first as the worst homies have been able to lock in. Oh, not lock. Oh, hello, team. Vala was in real trouble there for just a second. But yeah, they locked in the first few gems they delivered. They were able to sneak around them a little bit, so now a chance to maybe get slightly ahead here. Some Corona jet propulsion's out just before Wit can cut off his path of retreat. So good for him. And off we go. How much can they do with that? Gul'dan is soloing the top lane, everybody else is in the middle. Leo's at the bottom. And our little cowgirl over here. Yeah, really tethering the line. Honestly, Kelvin was so far out a couple of times that it seemed like they were going to try and punish him. They couldn't make it work. Now they're trying to pressure also the Countess. But Kerrigan is also able to move away. But they're doing some serious damage. I mean, the wall in the mid lane has fallen. The wall at the top has also been destroyed. You want to do a little bit more damage than that. But taking the fountains down, for example, would go a long way here. So if they can take those two, that would be kind of great. Kelvin is already 50% HP. They're blocking the path at the top. Good combo against the Nubarak, but he's still fine, and Wit just can't get out. Wit can't get out, and that's another kill. He's at the end of his wits as he's trying to get past a Nubarak and pays the consequences. And that results not only in Johanna falling, but also the fort being destroyed. Yeah. No bitty response to the situation from Jojo. Instead, they're now going down to the bottom of the map. and try to pressure through another wall. And no. They are going for the boss. Yeah, that's a sneaky one. They turn in again too. Okay, so Masquerade delivers 5. That also distracts the opponent a little bit. I'm not sure that they're realizing that the boss is being taken at this point, and I don't think they do. So Amkarota is instead... I mean, he's baiting them a little bit at the bottom. 17 gems, and he's like, juicy, juicy, juicy. Do you want these gems? But now that the interrupt is there, guys, I mean, at some point Go Next has to realize what's going on. The level 10 ability makes it nearly impossible for them to contest it, but I suppose that they at least know what's happening. So it's a blue Web Weaver wave that is going to touch ground, but it's going up against the boss at the top. So they have to defend the Web Weaver against the boss while the Web Weavers are on the ground. So that's a great trade for the red team. I mean, that's about as good as it gets this early in the game. Denying the opponent's turn in with a boss call on your by yourself. Vala's already at it, and they are taking this one in the mid lane slowly down too. And at the bottom of the map, the defense is there as well. But now we have the camp coming in, so those Web Weavers shouldn't really do a lot. And it's certainly looking good. It's looking very, very good for the red team, at least initially. In experience, it's still fairly even, but it's the structure lead that plays quite the role here. And that turn-in, of course, was now more or less completely negated. Nice shove. Good job by Skynox. Get the fuck out of here. Nubura gets pushed back immediately, and that... Ooh. Yeah, that put Tracer onto the back foot. But the defense at the bot lane was successful. In the middle, pretty much too. And at the top, Nuburak has all the space in the world to work with, as he's taking another one down. So, as everything is said and done, the boss obviously got defended against, but the Web Weavers are eliminated too and didn't really do any damage. So, there's that. And they're going again for Wit, who already died twice. Needs to be very careful here. He's currently... Oh, he's the prime target, but he's not the only target. That's 30 gems, by the way. That's 30 gems. They're trying to recover them. Wit is moving in. Now he is the punching ball, and he goes down too. 2 down. Blade goes for the gems next, but they're trying to go for Skynox, and they drop him too. 3 kills that they just got here. 3 kills. Easy. Easy 3 kills for them, and yeah. That's rough. They recovered the gems, but they got Kerrigan first, then they went straight up for Johanna, and after that they went for Skynox, and they dropped him too. The Entomb was meant to zone them out a little bit, but that didn't work. Now we have 5 kills to 0, an entire level lead, a talent advantage. The second fort of the game has now also fallen, and control is, of course, comfortably in the hands of the Wursten homies. So now we have another turn-in for them with a talent advantage. That's just nasty. What a lead right now for the red team. They want the 2-0 victory. They want to move on to the grand final right away. And currently things are looking pretty good for them. Yeah. They're doing well here. 31 stacks on Gul'dan. And look where the Web Weavers are coming down. Right in front of that gate. They can fully push for the keep here. And Leo will have to leave the bot lane alone eventually to help the rest of the teammates out. Especially since the next minion wave is now moving in too. And Nuburak is zoning, as you can see, against Wit. So Jojo is slowed down as well. Yeah, but still, the wall falls. That's all. The Web Weaver is still being defeated in time. And they're trying to dive at the bot lane now to take the fort down. And this one is definitely going to bite the dust. But look how aggressively they're swinging towards Leo now. 51 gems for Blade. 51 gems for Blade. If that is not a juicy target, then I don't know what is. And Blade is gonna fall. Blade is dead. And Jojo is cocooned. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Jojo! The unstoppable jumps out. Did she get the gems? No! That's... Oh my god, and she's dying as well. No! Not like that. That is just sad. That's 50 gems that just got eliminated. That was the ticket back into the game. And the homies just set it afire. They burned the ticket back into this game that Go Next was still holding. Go Next, they have 29 gems. And they haven't delivered a second turn-in yet. That was... yeah, that was nasty. And here's the level 16 talents. So now we have a 3-level lead. 7 kills to 0. And they are losing ground quickly. Blade... he came, he saw, and he died. Veni, Vidi, BG. Kerrigan died as well. And that's the first keep of the game that just got crucified. And guys, they are going core. They're going core. We're 11 minutes into the game and they're just like, you know what? What if we just end? Can we just end? Leo, yeah, Gul'dan wants to complete his quest. Can't even make that happen because Jojo dies too fast. Another cocoon. They're farming. They're turning Heroes of the Storm into a farm simulator here. Unbelievable. This team is scary. It is so scary. Wurst and Homies, incredible scary team. That's 11 kills to 0. 16, nearly 17 to 14. And they're going for the quick 2-0 victory against Go Next. Wurst and Homies, what a team here. Kerrigan dies again. She gets absolutely destroyed. The only one that didn't die on the blue team side is Vala. A little victory for her, I suppose, for Kelvin. But that's a 2-0 win as the red team moves on to the grand final of qualifier number 3.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description and check that out. Thanks in advance and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.